Hey guys, how's it going? I decided to go ahead and start because, hey, why not? I'm ready, it's ready, we're ready, and I'm old and I'm already tired. So how's everybody doing tonight? I see, I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm having some vision problems, but I see a lot of people already in here. It's crazy that we got just a pile of people already hanging out before the show even started. Some of y'all, David G's was in here at 6, man. Good to see you in here. Eric D forgot to enter. You can't win if you don't play. Isn't that what the Powerball always uses as their thing? Yeah, Robbie Strike's talking about WTWW, and actually tomorrow morning's video gets into that, and it's a sad story. I won't spend a ton of time covering it here tonight, but it sucks. I went and met those guys. They're good guys, and suddenly and from out of nowhere, financial situations change, unfortunately, and it's such a bummer. So let's see here. I'm going to skip ahead to some of the newer stuff here. Blind Rabbit talking about it, yeah. John McKay, yeah, high cost, yeah. Fritz Kraut, hey there. Blue Cat, what's up? Blind Rabbit, what's new? Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, from Miami. Hi, from the Netherlands, right on. Good evening. Yeah, Nickel Hammer, I've never had a unit in Bear Tracker 885, so there we go. Sorry, I can't help you out with that one. Robbie, you got a good point. Maybe the Powerball winner was like close to $2 billion. Maybe he was a fan of shortwave and WTWW, and he'll help him out. So there you go. Robert O'Doyer, good to see you in here. Lots of people showing up. 45, and we're early. I'm happy to be here. Quadrajet, good to see you in there. Where's the Elvira poster? All right, there is the first topic of conversation for this evening. Now, I have a lot of videos that I've already filmed over the last year that are kind of sitting around in reserve, and so a lot of those videos will have some older stuff in it, but the Elvira posters are gone, and it was devastating. I've had those posters up my entire life, but I'm trying to make this a family-friendly channel, and I actually got a complaint that I was objectifying women, even though Elvira is happy to be objectified, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, so I removed the posters, and that, there's a good point. Times have changed, man. Times have changed. So no more Elvira. It's terrible. It sucks. But there you go. And boy, there guys are just moving along. Michael Root, good to see you in there. Let's see. E. Hayes, hello from Tennessee. Mark Bennett, UK, 11:30 p.m. It's almost time for the Midnight Cafe over there. Fran says, is this a special topic or just chatting? And so, Fritz, it is, it's like open topics, honestly, but we're also giving away a radio station. So my wife, when I was working earlier today, picked the 5. Actually, it came out to 6 finalists, and we're going to pick one of those out here at about 7 o'clock, maybe a little bit before 7. So we do have, and I'm going to read, this is something I didn't do last time, but I'm going to read the finalists, their some of their comments they made. So there you go. Gerald Crescent, good evening from Battle Creek, Michigan. Good to see you, man. Jonathan McKay, good to see another live stream. At least WTWW is continuing its online streams. It is. And I've got mixed feelings about that, and like that's a place that I'm having some difficulties. So I have several streams, and one of them, well, actually, I think it's offline right now. The one that I have here at WFPF Radio is off the air right now, but I do have streams of my own, and there's 2 others that I rebroadcast other stuff. And so there's a lot of I'm a big fan of Shoutcast. In fact, I've been working on it for months. A video on how easy it is to set up a stream, how easy it is to have a radio station, if you want to do the online thing. Now, if you want to have licensing like WTWW has, where they're going to be playing music, that's a different animal altogether. I would recommend Live 365 if you want to play music. At this point, it just seems to be the easiest way to go about doing it. But the thing is, and this is going from I've been live streaming on Shoutcast since 1999. I don't think I've ever gotten more than 30 viewers, or 30 listeners, I should say, at any one given time. And that was early on. That was like 2001, 2002 era. Most of the time now, I might get a listener or two a day on each of the 3 channels that I have when they're up. Now, granted, I run everything off my own laptop, and so that might have something to do with it compared to some of these larger stations. That being said, I give them kudos that they're staying in the business, and I hope that they can return to the air as shortly as possible. Campman86 says, hello from Southbury, Ontario, Canada. New to the CB world, and your videos help me a lot. Got a Cobra 29 with a Tram 300. Good deal, man. Good deal. I'm glad to hear that. Always good to see new people getting into the hobby. And man, I'll tell you, a lot of people are getting into the hobby. Quadrojet, you're correct. Yes, that's one of them. So yeah, a lot of people getting into it. A lot of people getting into it. A lot of radio use in general, and that's why it hit so much harder that WTWW has gotten taken off the air, or not. You know, these things happen, but it's just like there's so few humongous stations that are out there. It's a little tough to lose one, especially one so big. Throw Up wants to know, is Winamp still around? Not only is it still around, not only is Shoutcast still around, both companies got bought, and the new people who own it have updated Shoutcast and updated Winamp, and a lot of things are happening there. Chuckles wants to know that I put the radio in the bus. The bus is still a massive work in progress, and so yeah, you know, it'll go in there eventually. Although I do have the TRC 474, which I really want to put in there too. So I'm tossing up about like something vintage versus something new. Rifleman 807 waving a hand there. WC's here. Hello from Austin, Texas. Donald Jones, Megan B. Good to see you in there. Joe Petroni, hello. Boy, a lot of folks. Well, I tell you, 60 online right out of the gate, and it's just now 6:30. That's a huge deal, and I appreciate you all coming in. And Jonathan McKesey runs an FM station in Canada, just trying not to make it obvious. Yeah, right on, I get that. Johnny Mullet, hey man. Johnny Mullet's got a great channel. He's got some CV-related stuff, and he's into Geometros, and now we have a couple of common things, Johnny. You'd be surprised. Casio watches, man. Like, I'm all about Casio watches. I know you made some videos on that, and you are a Mitsubishi Mirage owner just like myself. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of your stuff, man. Jason saying howdy from South Dakota. Dean Mullis from the Piedmont. People from all over the world coming in. Blind Rabbits wants to know, with less wattage, WTWW could get out there. And so, yeah, you're right. But, I've been to their site, and I don't know how you downscale something the size that they have. And it's crazy, man. So, Johnny Mello says, my shirt speaks the truth. And this was something I made, and YouTube actually banned this shirt. The truth has become so dangerous, it is now considered hate speech. I made bumper stickers in this shirt, and they literally said I couldn't sell it on YouTube. They took it off. It was not approved. So there you go. That pretty much sums up the shirt, doesn't it? Joe, everyone can relax. He's here. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you. Hello from Southeast Georgia. Holy cow, man. I'm having a hard time keeping it up. Johnny Mullis says we have a lot in common. You are correct, man. Eric D, good to see you. And Megan B with the Mitsubishi rules, no doubt about it. First time catching a live stream, says Couch. Well, I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. Let me talk to you about some stuff here before I go on. If I'm not as quick on my feet as I used to be, a lot has happened since August. I had a little bit of I don't know, I don't even want to get into it, but I'm having some issues where sometimes what I try to say doesn't come out quite right. You may notice it in the videos. I had somebody notice it over on the Restorations channel and called me out on it. So if you notice that I'm not the same Eric last time we had a live feed, I'm not. I'm getting better, though. It's nothing that's permanent. It's just taken a while for my brain to kind of readjust. And I've lost like 55 pounds, which I did talk about in one of my videos. That was unexpected. I've had some health issues there, too. So I've got a lot. A lot has changed since we all got together and talked, last time. So I apologize if I seem a little different, but I'm trying my best. And I'm sure as the night goes on, I'll get back into it. It's just my brain doesn't fire up to full speed quite as quick as it once did. Blind Rabbits from the coast of North Carolina. Good to see you in here. And, man, we got a lot going on. Blue Cat from South Central PA. Hey, 506 from Fuquay Arena, man. We got the leftovers of your storm. That hurricane just came through. We had I didn't get a chance to get it on film, but the bridge flooded out coming to the house, and it was like 6 feet under. This morning there were a bunch of trees and stuff, and we lost a tree here on the property. So a lot of rain from that hurricane, man. Yeah, Megan's saying I look a little thinner. Yeah, a little bit, which is not a bad thing. I was kind of overweight, so Michael's saying I apologize too much. Well, that's just my nature, Jesse Irvin and I went to cop school together very long time ago. Good to see you, Jesse. I hope you're doing well, man. I keep up with watching you on Facebook. I don't post there much anymore, but I'm still glad to see you in here, my friend. Big Chef says he loves old realistic mobiles. I have a few TRC 451s. I put one in my Jeep and another one going into my Regal Hot Rod. I've seen Mower Junkie run them too. Yeah, I've got a 465, which is a sideband radio, and that I picked up at a yard sale or someplace. I can't remember, but the 474 is one that I used to lust over when I was a kid. And I finally came across one that was just super clean, so I keep thinking about putting that in, in the bus. Joe says I need a leather jacket and a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. So, man, it's funny you say that. I get that all the time, that I'm that Negan guy. And I used to watch The Walking Dead when we had cable, and it's a good show. And I think that's a compliment. I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm always happy. Always happy if you want to give me half of everything you have. I remember that part from it, so there you go. Dan wants to know about the Midnight Cafe, and the Midnight Cafe is over, and let me explain why. And there's two reasons for it. The big reason is a little bit of a issue with memory, and so it made it really, really, really hard to put that out. So a single Midnight Cafe episode takes me about 6 to 8 hours to make. And so, you're looking at a whole day of research, of not filming, but recording and editing. And I wanted those episodes that were on WBCQ to be just right. And I'm going to tell you all this to let you know what kind of people the people over at WTWW are. Ted Randall, when I went to go see those guys, and I want you to think about all this. I'm going to take my glasses off. I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to hold your comments for a minute here, because it's hard for me to think and read at the same time right now. So last spring, I got in touch with those guys over there, and I said, hey, I'd love to check out your facility, right? 100,000 watt transmitter. We've never met. We've never talked. And Holly and Ted were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I drove all the way out, different time zone, drove to Tennessee, the far end of Tennessee, and met them. And I got there at like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I stayed until midnight. They offered to let me sleep at their house. That's how nice these people were. But there's something that you got to understand about everybody. And I know all of you, I'm blue collar, so I've known this in my life. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. But like when somebody says, hey man, I'd love to come there and promote your radio station, I want to show it off to the world. There's something in your mind. If somebody approaches me or anybody that says, yeah, but what's the hook? What's the catch? And so I know that the time I spent with those folks, they were probably waiting all night long for me to get to the catch. What do I want from them? What's my angle here? How can I benefit from this ordeal? And the truth was, I just wanted to see a very humongous, very awesome shortwave radio station. I mean, you don't get many offers to go tour a radio station, and so just got to do it. So all night they were probably waiting for the catch, and it never came. I was so honored to be there. We had such a great talked about Art Bell and Heather Wade, which Coast to Coast and Midnight in the Desert and Kingdom of Nye, all that stuff, because they broadcast all of those shows at one point or another on their stations. And then we talked about, he was shocked to know that I knew Eugene Scott, Dr. Scott, who's used to have a satellite that ran 24/7. And his wife he's passed away, but his wife's still out there, Pastor Melissa Scott. And so he was shocked that I knew these people, because I guess just not many people do. But so we talked about that. And anyway, I go home. They offered to let me stay, but unfortunately I had to work the next day. So I drove the 6 hours home, slept in the Slept in the Mirage. Megan, you know the size of that car. Slept in the back seat of the Mirage, which was like contorting into the fetal position. I don't recommend trying to do that. As much as I love the Mirage, it's not good for napping. Got home, edited the video. I put 2 of the 4 videos that I made up. It's so sad that I have 2 more beautiful videos of the time I spent with those folks, and I'm still going to do that. But, I'm sure that after I left, they probably were scratching their heads thinking, what was the point of that? Like, did that guy really just drive all the way here and spend all this time with us and take all this footage, and he's going to spend all this time editing for nothing? And the truth is, yeah, that's why I did it. I wanted the Midnight Cafe to be on bigger stations, but I wasn't going to ask them that. I wasn't ever going to ask them that. And so when it came time for the Midnight Cafe to go worldwide, I actually went to WBCQ up in Monticello, Maine, and worked with them. And so we had this, contract, and I did, what was it, 8 or 9 episodes with them. I think I did maybe 10 with the live one. So we do all those, and it ends, and I had gone through some problems here, with memory, and so I said, okay, I'm done. We're not going to continue this for right now. And, another month or 2 goes by, and I kid you not, I get a phone call from Holly and from Ted over at WTWW. And they were calling, and they just wanted to call and catch up and say thanks for the great, videos that I had put out, the tour of the station, and just raising awareness of their radio station. And so we had a nice long talk, and Ted, he said, hey, I know you're working with the guys over at WBCQ, and they're good people, but I tell you what, I want to offer you a spot, here on 5085, WTWW, right? He wanted to put me on the air on a Saturday, a good spot, and I was honored. And we were going to work together, and I had some time to think about it, and I just can't do it right now. I just can't put that time and effort into it, and I want to put a quality product out. And it looks like it's just not going to work out now at this point, and hopefully they're able to get back on the air. But that's the kind of people they are, and I was just blown away that Ted and Holly and the crew over there, just the way they acted with me, the way they treated me, and the fact that they were willing to offer me a perfect time slot on, a prestigious channel. So there's my story on that, and I hope y'all can take something away with that. I hope that brings some clarity to my opinion of those folks over there. Now I'm going to go back and read some of these, and you guys go ahead and roll away here. Kenny Bean saying, all the way from Washington, man. I've been out to Washington State, beautiful place. Thanks for all the info and the videos there. Average List Enjoyer, hey there. Johnny Mullet saying, yeah, tried to sleep in a Mirage, never again. I gotcha. Different Gear TV, hello from Spain. Thanks for the videos. Awesome. Indiana Chris, you giving a McKinley away? No, sir. Tonight we are giving away a Redicus TR 508 or 507, I think it is. It's an FM radio station, but the deadline to enter that has ended, so we'll give that away here in about 10-15 minutes. Jonathan McKee saying, I wish I knew how much it went for at the auction. Well, I don't know that one. I must have missed something there. Eric D saying, Dr. Eugene Scott. I remember watching him on some oddball television channels, always with a big cigar. Yeah. And so that's how I was introduced to Eugene Scott back many, many years ago. Was he'd stay up all night before there was cable, and he'd buy airtime on those UHF channels. And so I remember getting into listening to him, and years later I got one of those C-band satellite dishes, and there he was. He had his own channel 24/7 on C-band. And then for a little while after he passed away, they moved over to KU band, and now they just have an audio signal. I think it's just an audio signal, but they're on shortwave 24/7. Although it's mostly Melissa, I prefer to listen to Eugene. And there's a website that plays all his old stuff there. Computers ETC, good to see you in there. All the way from Australia, Outback Traveler 58. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, it's quite the world. Fritz Crowd is saying that. Good to, where like all these people. It's just amazing that this modern era I can talk with all of you instantly around the world. Computers ETC saying WBCQ 94.7 Classic Country. No, this was the shortwave. It was 50, 85, on shortwave. It was 100,000 watts. So massive. Reached all the way well into Europe, Russia, Ukraine, all that. It's incredible. Casey Caliso. Oh my God, you're Negan. My wife is flipping out. She loves that guy. Great. Tell her just to send half of all her stuff to me, and everything's going to be awesome. I'll leave Lucy in the closet, okay? We'll make sure the bat's out of the way. PCB Odyssey. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good to see you. Jen, yeah, slowing the brain down. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. I always considered myself kind of quick on my feet, and I still am most of the time, but I definitely have a little bit of a something changed over the summer. The doctors have some ideas. I appreciate your videos on antennas. I have a barn with a metal roof. Can I put a base station antenna on it? You betcha, dude. My garage is a metal roof. It acts as an improved ground plane. So, yeah. Greetings from Athens, Georgia, all the way there. Daniel, good to have you in here. All right, I'm going to fast forward all the way down. Holy cow, there was a bunch. Wow. Wow. 73's from Washington. Jeff Reynolds saying hello. Different Gear TV. Kate, how can we win the radio? The drawing ended. I had a video out on it, and about 2,400 people watched it. About 600, I think, signed up, and we got down to the final 6. I'll be drawing that very shortly. Computers ETC says A is a transmitter running 99.3. It's one of those whole house transmitters. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan, and look, I don't give legal advice, that's for sure, but I run a Part 15 radio station here, and I run a Shoutcast server, that broadcasts that to the world. When I lived in the Raleigh area, you could put that out and get 2-mile range with that Part 15 AM station, and you'd be talking to a bunch of people, or have a lot of ears basically. But here where I live now, I'm lucky if one person can hear my puny signal. But there are, the transmitter I'm giving away tonight, I think it's 7 watts at max power. That's a good 2-3 mile range, possibly longer in flat areas. So if you wanted to have a pirate radio station in quotes or whatnot, that's it's certainly capable of that. Although depending on where you live in the world, that's legal or illegal. So be careful. Island Softworks. Hey Eric, listening and watching from Sylvia, not too far away. Good deal. Let's see here. I gotta go. I load a group of clips and play them in the background. Oh, cool, man. That's good. I'm gonna go on down. Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on tonight. You guys are crazy. Doing a delivery Outback Trailer says. My gosh. Oh, you have a DX390, Computers ETC says. No, they've gone silent, but WBCQ 7490 still in the air, and WRMI down in Florida is still around. There's a bunch still here, and there's a couple in Texas, but to lose WTWW is just a kind of big deal. Kurt says, mine says one thing, my body another. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. Is one of the, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. 506. It is shocking to me that you're saying that, dude, because that is what put the bug in my head. I worked in a video store, and the guy I worked for said, man, this movie just come out. I think you'd like it, because he knew I was into CB and radio in general. Brought it home, watched it, and was just hooked. The tagline in that, Steal the Airwaves, has stuck with me ever since. And I watch that movie every couple of years. I think it's been about a year, but I watch that, and it's just, it's a great, and it's, it's aimed at teenagers, I guess, but it's a great story. And of course now we're, living in the digital age, but I think a lot of people forget that you can reach a whole lot of people with radio still. And more people listen to the radio, even, and I don't care what age group you're talking about, that they flip the radio on when they hop in the car, so. Twisted Cat Gaming, I'm thinking about buying a McKinley or possibly mobile. I already have a 980. Which of those two radios do you recommend for the mobile? I have the McKinley and the mobile. I don't know that one's better than the other as far as receive or send, but I have heard people say the 980s have some screen issues. I've had mine as a base station for many years and never had any issue with it, and so I wonder if vibrations cause solder joints to fail on that. But the McKinley has worked beautifully, so no issues there at all. Robbie Strike saying one of those low power radios would be great if you're in an apartment building up high in a big city. Yeah, imagine if you had the elevation, you'd have massive coverage. or even in a small city. I've never lived inside a city limits, but in a neighborhood, you can get pretty much the whole neighborhood with one of those things. Um, let's see here. I still have my dad's Lafayette HE20B tube channel radio. That's awesome, man. Those old tube radios sound better than anything else. Blind Rabbit saying loves AM radio. Yeah, I look to. It's called AMDX, and now as we move into the winter months, it's pretty cool to see and listen to that, because you can go, and every 10 kilohertz on the dial, you're hearing a different station from a different part of the country. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. Not all of them are clear channels too, depending on the way that the this atmosphere is working. You can hear Ohio, and and a step later you're hearing Kansas City, and a step later you're hearing Texas. It's just incredible. And of course, my thing, and I guess it's because I grew up on it. My wife isn't a big fan of this. Is the cascade, the ebb and the flow, the waterfall, where a station goes out of the mist, becomes really strong, and then fades away. After 5 or 10 minutes of listening, it just disappears, and another station, another voice comes out of the mist. The only downside to modern AM radio is that a lot of it's the same stuff. It's programmed, package programming, so there's not a lot of local guys on in the after hours. But I still love to be able to do that, because you can still find a lot of cool stuff, even if it's just weather or news, like your local news on the 15s or 10s, whatever they are. So there you go. Kurt Tuttle says he lives in a senior community, and Part 15 would probably work great. Definitely. That's like the 55 and over club is like that's perfect, where you have it in a community like that where everyone's keeping up with events. It's a great way to do that. And actually, one of the finalists that was what was going on there. Robbie Strike saying if you have an FM transmitter, you can use free-to-air satellite receiver, and there's radio channels on G19 that you can retransmit. Yep. Yeah. So I actually, based on your information, Robbie, I bought a radio or a satellite receiver that picks up hundreds of radio live feeds. I can't remember which satellite it sits on, but it's been on there on the C-band dish forever, and so I've got access to a lot of those raw feeds. It's really cool to listen to. PN Sportsman, I can listen to radio from Texas while I'm in Washington. It's been fascinating to learn about radio. Yeah, man, it's just awesome, and it's the magic of it, man. It's the magic. You get, even on CB, you're playing with 4 watts or 12 watts on sideband, and you're talking to Canada, on 4 watts or 12 watts. It's just incredible to me, and I really love that part about it. I think that's what's fascinated me ever since I keyed down for the first time, and so it's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, Jonathan McKee says 740 from Toronto. Isn't that Zoomer radio, if I'm not mistaken? I got hooked on Zoomer when I was living in Raleigh. They play big band music. I can't remember if it was Saturdays or Sundays, and they may have stopped because I don't seem to get them up here. But oh man, I love those guys. Those are awesome. Let's see here. TRC 495 base station. Yeah, good. Antron A99, Donald Jones, you were asking about the 495. I've got a 495. Dallas Rife gifted it to me years ago. It's a great radio. But yeah, the Antron A99 is like my default answer for entry-level base station antennas. The things last forever, and they're just great talkers. All right, read God's word saying, not much. I've just been rambling like I always do. All right, so it is. It's almost 7. So what I'm going to do here, you guys will stop seeing me for a second. I'm going to pull this. Actually, I'm just going to try to find it if I can. Here we go. So I won't see you guys, but you can see me. Yeah, Zoomer Radio. Yep. I was right about that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read off the 6 finalists. I was going to get 5, and I got a 6th one because it cracked me up so much. I don't know if any of y'all are in here, but that's okay. I'm going to post the winner's name after we're done here tonight. And the first one is Nasanction. I don't know why I can't figure out how to pronounce that, but I won't even try. He says, I'm located in a very old black neighborhood. The area needs a station. It would be used for community information and for collection and distribution of donations and services to inspire and help those in need. Love your channel. Hope whoever wins forwards the blessings onto others. So that was nice. He made the finals with that one. The Parker Rats, 13 days ago, he said, because I want to report the other side of the news that happens in our area that the news outlets don't want us to know. There are still a lot of people who still listen to FM radio here, and I want to make a difference in my community. So that was pretty cool. This one here, looks like he's got a subscriber, so apparently he's one of my actual fans. Henry Calderon Jr., I want to set it up for those of us so we can benefit our local community since we are tight-knit about crime and helping our neighbors here in South Wichita. Hope we get lucky. We sure could use it. And so that's pretty awesome. NC Long, I live in a 55-plus community, and I think it would be great to set up a radio station for our residents. This would cover our community well. Besides, I'm a fellow VW bus owner and CB radio user, and he's gotten quote 710 WNC, so that must be his calls. And so that's cool. He's a bus guy. I like that. And Jason, also a subscriber, it looks like. I currently live on a Native American reservation. I would love to share with people my love of radio by playing the classic radio shows from the golden age of radio, plus some late-night conspiracy shows. It would be great also to use in an emergency broadcast situation in the event of a national emergency. I mean, these are really great. These are really great. And so those were the 5 I picked initially. I did throw one in here, and he cracked me up, and so I threw him in here because he's not wrong. 54 Deuce, 2 weeks ago, he wrote, because George Orwell was correct, he was just off by 30-some-odd years. So there you go. Those are the 6 people who made the final countdown here, and I hope that you'll, if you didn't get picked, I'll try to do another one of these. Anytime these companies send these to me, I'm happy to do a giveaway. So if you guys are ready, we'll find out what we got. All right, let's see here. NC Long. NC Long, you just won yourself a radio station. He was the one that said, I live in a 55-plus community. I think it would be great. Oh, he's the bus guy. It would be great to set up a radio station for the residents. This would cover our community well. Besides, I'm a fellow VW bus owner and CB radio user. So NC Long has just won the FM radio station. Good for him. Everybody, I hope, congratulates him. And maybe you'll hear him on the air someday playing some cool music, you know. Let's see. A99 purchase due to your recommendations. Awesome antenna. The McKinley. Yeah, that combo is like beautiful, right? Jonathan McKee says Zoomer Radio, big band music on Sundays is still going strong. Old drama and comedy every show on the weeknight. Yeah, Zoomer. I used to listen to that all the time in back when I lived in Raleigh. Eric D says 4570 Palm Springs. What does your shirt say? Indiana Chris wants to know what my shirt says. It says, the truth has become so dangerous, it is now considered hate speech. And I made these shirts, my friend. I made these shirts. And YouTube banned me from selling them, so I have a few extras. And I used to make bumper stickers, too. Congrats to NC. Congrats to the winner, Turtle says. Matthew Sneed's got the cool icon there. Indiana Chris, Jeff Reynolds, Megan B. Awesome. Barney, thank you. Thank you, Barney. I appreciate that. Always good to get donations. Don't ask for that stuff, but always nice when people support the channel. That means a lot to me. People think highly enough of my work to support it. Robbie says, congratulations. Hope you get a radio station going. Indiana Chris, yeah, man. The dinosaur's back. Yeah, bud. So here I am, the old guy here at Farpoint. And so let's talk about the future of Farpoint. I've got 2 channels now. The restorations channel is exceeding expectations and over 2,000 subscribers. A lot of people enjoyed watching me do the Beetle over the summer. And now the big one is coming in where I'm going to start working on the bus. We pushed it back into the garage. A lot of the body work's done. It's time to pull that old motor out and swap that out for that Subaru engine. So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be a big deal. So that channel's taking off in a nice way. It's glad to see. It reminds me of the beginning of Farpoint Farms, and you just keep plowing away. I'll hit 100 videos on that channel here very shortly, and it's just great. So anybody who thinks about starting a channel of your own, you definitely should do that. You know, you definitely should keep at it and do that. And I've got some cool stuff planned on both channels. I bought a Chinese diesel motor, a small diesel motor, and I'm going to be putting that on a mini bike. And I'm not sure which channel I'm going to go on that, and but it'll go on either or. And so we'll do some cool stuff with the Chinese engine, the little 6.5 horsepower engine. It's like the size of a Predator 212, but it's it's diesel, so it's kind of cool. We'll be playing with that, and got some other stuff I'm gonna be doing here over the winter. I got a cool snow blower that we picked up. I'll show you that when we assembled it, and just waiting on snow, which I think is coming Wednesday, I think. And yeah, a bunch of cool stuff. So, and as far as radio gear goes, we got a lot of that too. We got I've got some other cool radios that people have sent me, and I've got a video that I've been trying to get out on Shoutcast that I'm still working on. So that'll come out here shortly, and so I hope you'll stick around. You know, I know the channel grows and grows and grows. Both of them are growing. But you know, and as I get older, things change a little bit. I do a lot more reviews than I think I did the first 2 years, but it's a lot of people reaching out to me to do reviews. And I try to do stuff that I think you'll enjoy, you know, the products that I think you might like. Or sometimes, guys, unfortunately, it's stuff that I need. And so it may not be as exciting like a deep freezer, but it's awesome that companies like that are willing to work with me. And it's just insane that the opportunities that I've had here on the channel. So if you ever thought about starting your own YouTube channel, or if you have a YouTube channel and you've neglected it, you've said, well, it just doesn't seem to be growing, just don't give up, man. Go back to it and start putting out content. People will come. So there you go. Reginald Shannon, good to see you in here, man. You're definitely an old timer. Mr. Randy One says, what's your opinion on Bigfoot? I have seen him. That is my opinion, and I'm not joking about that. There's a video in here that's in my repertoire of videos. Look deeply into the hole and look for a video called A Scary Story from My Youth, and it is the story of when I met Bigfoot. It's one of my early, probably 4 or 5 years ago I made that. So Megan's saying, if you're not watching Farpoint Farms Restorations, do it. I appreciate the plug there. That's good. Yesterday's promenade, good evening. You got me into garden tractor gardening. Awesome, man. Now that makes me happy. And so I am thinking, if this little diesel engine from China works out well on a mini bike project, about taking a old Sears garden tractor or Craftsman garden tractor and converting one over to diesel. So that'll be something you might be interested in. That'll definitely happen on the main channel. And there you go. Indiana Chris, if you were to open up another tab and go to my YouTube channel and go to like the About or subscriptions, it's the top one. It's called Farpoint Farms Restorations and Repairs. And I do, if you ever look in like the posts, I post links to every video I post on there every week. So twice a week I post videos there. Twice a week I post videos here. It certainly doesn't get as much, you know, airtime because there's not as many people subscribed, but it's coming. Twisted Cat Gaming sounds cool. I'll go check out the restoration channel, by the way. Yeah, Predator's a great engine. And, you know, now there's like, it's so funny. Like, you know, the Predator engine is a Honda clone, right? They took a Honda 6.5 horsepower horizontal shaft engine and they cloned it. And at first it wasn't all that great, but over the years it's become a very quality product. And I think that you know, copying is flattery to an extent. Well, you can go on Amazon and now there's Predator clones that are like $100. I don't know how long they're going to hold up, but it's like going back in time and getting an early Harbor Freight Predator engine. So I think that's kind of funny. I'm thinking about ordering one just to kind of mess with it. Jonathan McKay says, do I still have VHS tapes of the videos on the Rusty Rabbit? It would be nice to see de-interlaced 60 FPS versions. I'm afraid I don't, my friend. I don't. What you guys have seen over on the news channel and what still exists on the original Rusty Rabbit channel from back in 99, 2000. That's it. I did have, and the stuff I posted on there was all I had. It was a high 8 videotape that was probably a copy off of a VHS tape. But a lot of what was going on back then, is, in the pre-YouTube internet, was that customers would pay me to film a repair or an educational video, and then I would send it to them. And so the only copy that existed got sent off to whoever. And so that's That's what happened to 99%. And I would say there was probably well over 100 hours of repair stuff back in the day, but most of those went to somebody, and I'm sure that after they, did the repair, they probably tossed it. They were crazy. It was, $5 for a VHS tape plus shipping to do that. I guess I was underdoing myself. Yeah, it looks like we got. I don't know how to. I've never had spam before. I don't know how to get rid of that. It's not in the. I don't know. Maybe let me see if I can highlight. Oh yeah, I can hide them from the channel. All right, we'll get rid of that person. Hide this user. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Never. I guess I've really become popular when somebody spams a live feed from a guy hanging out in his in his guest room. I don't know, man. Yesterday's promenade said, my wife may not share your enthusiasm as the owner of a Husqvarna 354 XD and a recent purchase of a JD 420 with loader. Hey, that's some nice stuff you got there. That is nice. And Edward Hogshead wants to know, how's the work going on the boat? No work done on that boat. That was something I wasn't planning on getting. And focus, all focus, according to my wife, or else must go into the bus because, I do work for customers, and I spent the whole summer with my spare time working on the Beetle and, pushed off the bus, which she wants to take the bus on a big trip. So she wants me to do it, and we're going to do it. Meg says I'm a vicarious mechanic through this channel. It helps me to know what's able. Yeah, right. Don't get taken advantage of. That's actually a big thing that I've always tried to strive for on both of my channels, is that I want to show you how to do something. For some people, that means you can do it and save hundreds of dollars. If not, however, at least you don't get ripped off, right? Or hopefully don't get ripped off. So that's inspiring, Megan. I appreciate that, because that means that I'm doing my job the way I want to be doing it. So. Indiana Chris says, ever watched Musty One? And I have. I've seen a couple of his bus videos and stuff. He seems like a cool guy. So I hope that, well, I don't know that he's ever seen me, but I hope he continues to put out content. He seems like a nice guy. Jason says, I was so inspired by the mutt, I took a broke down mower and rebuilt it. I've been using it for most of the chores on the homestead. I used it to plow some snow earlier today. So check it out, man. The mutt, I made a video over the summer when I was doing the garage expansion, and I just haven't posted it yet. It's called The Mutt is the Most Valuable Player. And my little mutt, I don't know if any of you have ever picked up a railroad type. These suckers, they're about 200 to 250 pounds. I was hauling that on that little bed that I made on my mutt, and I finally did break one little piece of wood on that thing. And as the mutt sits outside year round, and so that wood's kind of getting soft anyway. But man, I was hauling concrete and all the supplies, and I was using it today to help clean up the broken tree. The mutt is awesome. The mutt is great, and I love that. In fact, we're talking about that Lowe's tractor that I've had forever now, the one that does have a built-in bed. We want that to be the diesel tractor if we do end up doing a conversion. So Jen said that's the one. She likes that one. So Johnny Mullet's loving that. Right on. Thank you, Indiana Chris, for reporting that. I appreciate it. Richard saying, good evening from Albany. Good to see you in here, my friend. Outback Traveler says, got to get back to it. I appreciate it. Check you on 20 meters someday. I hope so, my friend. Chuck saying spam. Hate spam, yeah. Not the food, I hope, but just the regular stupid stuff that people throw in here. Johnny Mullet says, bus, you got a bus? Oh, no. Yeah, so not like your bus, brother. Mine's a Volkswagen bus, like an old camper bus. And so, yeah, we're doing a restoration on that. I'm going to pull the Volkswagen motor out, and we're going to put a Subaru engine out of an '01 Outback into it. I would love to have a schoolie, but it's never going to happen. Well, I won't say never. I never say never, but not at this point in life. We've had some vans, like Chevy vans, over the years that we've had turned into campers, but never anything as big as that. Truth is, I'm not that good of a driver. Like, I haven't had accidents, but I'm not a confident driver anymore. Some of that from the issues I'm having upstairs right now. So, and my wife doesn't like to drive, so I'm pretty much the guy. The older I get, like when I was young, man, I could do anything. Drive in and out of New York City if I needed to, whatever, any big city. But now, I'm so used to driving in country roads. I get on a highway and I feel like I'm going to get run over. I drive like a grandma. Let's see, the Quarantine Catholic. Hey, From Texas, getting a ham radio in order. Got my Zingzhou G90 so I can hear the CB peeps talking. Cool, man. Awesome. You inspired my neighbor to purchase a CB, and I got it all set up for her. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So anybody getting into the hobby, I'm always happy to hear that stuff. Kurt Tuttle says, you going to Jars Fest, and I don't know what that is, man, but maybe if it's close enough to North Carolina, I might be interested in going to that. I did go to Shelby Ham Fest, which was awesome, man. It was a good time this year, and I bought a bunch of stuff. Just haven't had a chance to edit a lot of the videos. Here's what's weird, and I think I was talking with you, Robbie Strike, about this. I'm one of these people that is either a mile ahead, or I'm either 10 miles ahead, or I feel like I'm a mile behind. And so I got 2 or 3 times over the last 5 years where I got behind on making videos and didn't have content to put out. And so I kid you not, there's over 100 videos that I've made, I've edited, and I have in the queue that I could post, and it's just a matter of fitting in new stuff when companies send me equipment they want me to check out with those older videos. And I'm talking some that are 2 years old now, and that's the same as effect to a smaller amount on the new channel with repair videos and whatnot. So I'm really weird about that, and then you add to that all these clips that I filmed and just never got around to editing. I told my wife if I were to pass away, she's got at least a year's worth of Farpoint footage she could put out before she had to let everyone know that I wasn't even around anymore. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen, but there you go. What AM transmitter would I recommend? I use the, oh my gosh, what's the name of that thing? And I'm sorry, man, this is the problem I'm having. It's, well, hopefully it'll come to me, man. If it does, gosh, man, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry, man, I can't think of it right now, but I've been using the thing for 23 years, something like that. Indiana Chris saying 78, 79 people hanging out. Man, isn't that insane? It's just so crazy to me that a guy, I don't know. This is very interesting future, and I feel very blessed every day that I'm on here. Oh, Hamfest in Charlotte next weekend. I know I spelled it wrong. I got you. I'm not going to be able to do that. I've got some other stuff that I have going on the next couple weekends with the holidays, but also I've got some work-related stuff. So, I think I've talked about this. I work here at the farm, which things are pretty well wound down for the season. Then I work on cars here at the house. Then I work on restorations here at the house. And then I also, and this happened over COVID, I did take a job in town. And so I work a 40-hour work week there too. So I don't have a whole lot of free time anymore, which is exactly the opposite of what I was hoping to do with my life. But someday, sooner or later, I'll go back to carving it back down to a lighter life again. But I'm enjoying myself. I enjoy the job I have in town a lot. And, but it is a lot to do, so I don't often have time. Ah, cool, man. Zoomer Radio is on YouTube. That's awesome. I'll have to check it out. Megan saying the camper's going to be awesome, upgrades and stuff. Folks should tune in and watch the videos. I appreciate that, Megan. I hope that everybody that watches tonight takes a second to go over to the new channel, Farpoint Farms Restorations and Repairs. And I hope you clock, subscribe, and hit the bell, because if you like the stuff I'm putting out here and you like the stuff I used to put out here, well, it's just split the channel in two. I try to put more of my mechanical and how-to videos over there and more of my product reviews and radio stuff over here. So I really wish you will go over there and check it out. I think you'll like it. Robbie Strike says, you'd be like Pastor Scott, dead for years and new content still coming out on YouTube. Yeah, man. I got... yeah. So Robbie says you're ahead with solar power, and maybe it's a lot of people want to have a solar power in a year or two from now. Yeah, I have keep upgrading that, and I've got some videos that I filmed over the summer I haven't put out yet on more upgrades to that. I bought a new charge controller. I actually had a failure of a panel, which they have 20-year warranty. The company was super cool to work with. Sent me a brand new panel, plugged it back in no time. But I was noticing my batteries weren't staying fully charged, and thought that there was a problem with the charge controller. Turned out one of the panels in the series was out, and it was causing big issues. So, yeah, people should look into solar. Everyone should, man. So there you go. Hey, John Blanton, my neighbor. Howdy. Saw some VWs today that you would get a kick out of. I'll send you some pics. Cool, man. Good to see you in here, bud. Do you have any B-Tech radios like B-Tech GMRS? I do not believe I do, sir. Kept saying he lose track of stuff all the time. Yeah, it happens. You know, as we get older, it just kind of comes and it goes, I guess. But I wish I could remember that one. Do you still have that HD stacker antenna? I don't think they ship them anymore. That guy Denny passed away. Oh, man. Jeez, man. I do have the HD stacker. A lot of the problems I was having with it, it turns out, was caused by a aging preamp. So I replaced that with a Uniden, I think it is, and a really high-end Uniden one, and it really has helped. Now, I also have that on a rotor, and so even though I'm in the very, very deepest of fringe here, because of the mountain ranges around me, that HD stacker still performs fairly well in what's it been, 8 years now. So I know I kind of made a 5-year follow-up that wasn't too kind to it, but it's not a bad deep range antenna. I bet if I was down in Raleigh, that thing would probably pick up 75 stations easy, especially with the rotor. But Jordan B, good to see you in here, man. I haven't talked with you in a long time. Always enjoyed chatting with you on both the Midnight Cafe channel and over here and everywhere, man. Just love it. Kurt Tuttle, you have got the most ultimate point ever. You are busier when you retired. Yeah, sometimes when we're like, yep, I'm stepping back from the world comes and finds us and is like, but I got more for you, buddy. James C says, evening, Eric. Enjoy the content, especially the VW truck videos. 81 diesel was my first truck. James, thank you for reminding me of this. This is something that I have had to hold my tongue on for ages, and it's just this little teeny blip, but it is a cool blip. I don't watch these folks because I don't have cable, but Diesel Brothers, I think they're on Discovery or one of those stations on there, maybe History Channel. Diesel Brothers, they usually fix up big diesel trucks. They reached out to me almost a year ago and said, hey, we would love to use footage of your truck as like a backdrop in an upcoming episode, and so I don't have a problem with that. You're welcome to use it. I was hoping they would maybe give me a shout out or something, but I don't think they did. But I'm hearing from several fans this morning that season 8 episode 1 had a couple of brief shots of my old silver 1980 truck, and we won't tell them that it's gas because apparently they didn't care. That's the magic of TV, right, folks? But anyway, James C, there you go. There's an episode on, and again, I haven't seen it, but I'm hearing that it's about a Volkswagen truck that they fix up, a diesel truck. So that's kind of cool. Megan B says I should reach out to Solar Flower, a company up here in Boston, giant mobile flowers that follow the sun all day. Yeah, where they go across, they follow the sky. That tracking stuff ups the amount of output those panels can put out tremendously. And so that's a great thing. Yeah, I'll write that down. Actually, I'll reach out to him. This is something new I'm going to talk to you guys about that's happened in my life, and it's kind of cool. So it used to be that I would get emails. I get a lot of emails. I'm not going to lie, I get hundreds of them now. And it'd be various companies that want to work with me, and a lot of the stuff that they want me to work on is trash, so I don't even ever respond to the emails. Some of the stuff I respond to the emails, I look at this product a little closer, or I ask some follow-up questions, and I say, no, that's not something that looks quality. And then occasionally somebody sends me something that I look at that's just terrible, and I won't, I have to tell them I'm just not willing to put it out on my channel. And so I used to have to wait for products that I actually could use, or that I could give away to friends and family. A lot of the stuff you see here I give to people. And so the thing that my wife thought up is she's taken a bigger role since I've been having some issues as far as the channel, and she answers a lot of the comments now too, is that she said, why are you waiting for these people to talk to you? You should reach out to these people. And so a lot of the tools that I need for the shop, I've been reaching out to companies, and they're actually willing to work with me and send me the stuff that I actually need instead of just randomly cool stuff. So some of the videos you're going to see, they may not be all that exciting, but it happens to be stuff that I need, and it's saving me a lot of money. So I hope you'll put up with that for a little while, although I'm just looking for one more thing. If I can get a company to send me a cherry picker, engine hoist, I'll be all set. So, but I've got pretty much everything else I wanted from these companies lately. So I'm very pleased that that's the life I'm living, which is pretty darn cool, I gotta say. Computers ETC says he wants an HD stacker for the VHF part for FM. Yeah, they do have it on mine because we don't use it for FM. I just VHF and UHF. I put a trap in the preamp, and so I block it out. But there's no reason not to use it for that. If you want to use it for that, that's awesome. Is there an inline surge protector for my CB antenna? There is something called a lightning arrestor that you can buy, and that would require it goes in between the cabling, and there's a line for you to put a ground cable to it, and then you have to pound in a ground rod. That usually does work. It's not always going to work. Sometimes you just got bad luck. I had a lightning strike here, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe it was just a year and a half or so, but it hit the backyard about 20 feet from the house. The ground was moist enough that it traveled, so it was an indirect hit. And even though I had surge protectors and everything else, we lost a television set, a VCR, and I mean a VCR. It was our last VCR inside, and something else died. I can't remember what the last thing was. Oh, a clock. I think the digital clock, like a clock for waking up in the morning. They all died, so we had to buy all that. But I mean, you think about it, could have been a whole lot worse. And I do have everything grounded on the side of the house, but you never know. You never know. So it's definitely worth doing stuff like that. I have my stuff grounded. James C. says there's a fella up the road from me with gas, one that's had some custom work done to it. It's a 4-door Rabbit front end. $9,500. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's a lot of money, brother. It's probably worth it, but I have seen there was one for sale on Facebook Marketplace that's a 4-door, like somebody welded a 4-door to a truck bed, and that's is that the one you're talking about? I'm wondering, that might be the same one, man, that I've seen on Marketplace, and it still needs a lot of work though, the one that I was looking at, but he's very proud of it, very proud of it. So there you go. Barney says also check with Polyphase and Alpha Delta Radio and Brake Manufacturing. All right. Yeah, Meg says, listen to your wife. Yeah, she comes up with good ideas every once in a while, like every while. Happy wife, happy life. And I have a happy life. We've been married 20 years now. Been together 22. But we celebrated our 20th last month. So pretty amazing how quickly life passes us by, though. Johnny Mullet has a question. Will a President McKinley fit in a Mirage with a single DIN stereo above it? I see double DIN kits. Yes. Yes, it will indeed. Yep. McKinley, I have a McKinley in my old Volvo, my winter car that I drive, so I keep the rust off the Mirage. And it's doubled in, and so we have just a regular stereo in the top, and the McKinley is in the bottom. So it will fit in there perfectly. It looks like it was made for it. So there you go. And you're getting a G4 in January. Right on. My understanding is they got rid of the sticks. My wife has a stick shift model. I got the CVT. She says mine drives differently, but I can't tell. Most of the cars that I have are stick shifts, except for the Mirage. And so when I get into hers, I don't really feel it. But, your 17 hatchback got 140 on it. There you go. There you go. Weird Blue and Wavy. Yep, that's the one, James. Yep. Megan saying happy anniversary to Jen and I. I try to get her to come on these shows with me every time I do it. But Jen's not a huge fan of being on film. I don't know why, but people are weird. I have a friend who I've been begging to start a YouTube channel because everybody could use some extra money, and if you work it hard, and this guy's a hard worker, he could definitely have success. And he has some pretty cool stuff that he does. He does landscaping, but he says he can't get over when he goes to edit the videos. He doesn't like the sound of his voice, and he just can't get over it. So that's what's keeping him from being successful at this, or at least getting his feet wet in it, to see if he could be successful. So, that's the weird things that stop us. But she does occasionally pop in and help out. And so she definitely does a lot behind the scenes, and I appreciate her for that. A-Bomb J, love your channel, brother. First time getting a live feed. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading, apparently, too. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, man. PSV Odyssey, happy anniversary. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, let's see what time we got here. Oh, we've almost been at it an hour. I'll go another 5 or 10 minutes and I'll wrap it up. 72 viewers on here, crazy, and $20 donated is an impressive thing as well, man. I love it. Um, Megan saying her 2020 Outlander and the CVT just got me to Ohio and for a wedding and back. Right on. Yeah, we got an '05 Outlander that is definitely on its last legs. I just put snow tires on it this morning, and underneath, I mean, the rust is just getting so bad, and it's just worn. We were driving home one night, and a deer come out and slapped the side of it, so it's pretty ugly looking. The paint's starting to go. It's got some dents, and it's just, you can tell that it's almost time. And I hate to buy something as new and as nice as a 2020 for a winter car, because the salt they put up here is just terrible. But I would love to have the Outlander Sport, and I think it's like a 2016 or so. It's a smaller Outlander that they came out with, and I like it. But I just can't get myself past the point where it's like, I don't want to rust that poor thing out, Jonathan Key says, the only videos I do with my voice are random shorts from time to time. The rest are remastering of music shows from the 50s and 60s. Yeah, a lot of people can't get over it. Or like, I can't remember who it is now, but they never show their face, but they've made lots of videos. They're like hand videos, where you just see them doing work. And I'm totally okay with that. Whatever your thing is, go for it. John Blanton says, hey, when is Jen going to cook something up? It adds to the channel. I know, and there's a couple things that first, I love that cowboy candy, man, that she makes, and she also makes deviled eggs that are great. She's put those on here, but there's so many meals. Like, she concocted something for dinner tonight, and she just pulls it out of the air. She just does it. This was some kind of like quasi Chinese type dinner that she thought up on the spot, and it was excellent. So I wish she would film that stuff. I know it's a change to go from doing something to learning how to film it while doing something. And it certainly slows you down, but I think that I enjoy her videos when she puts them out. And I hope that she'll make some more of those cooking videos, throughout the year, because she's got some great recipes, man. Every pound that I ever put on is due to her cooking, I don't eat out, and so, yeah, she got me to where I was, and medical issues have got me back to where I am, but I bet you if I got healed up, I'd be back to where I was thanks to her cooking in no time. Kip says she's happy he knows who's in charge. Yeah. Kip, this is funny. I'm old, or getting there, and I'm talking with a young friend who's just gotten married. He's been married about 2 or 3 years now, and we were talking about marriage. He's saying, wow, it's impressive that you guys have been married 20 years. And I said, yeah. And I remember this because he's at this phase in his life where he's like, I'm in charge. She's not going to tell me what to do. I make all the decisions. I do all this. I do all that, And I look back to when I was young and I was getting married, and all the guys that were my age were like, just let, just let them decide. It doesn't matter. No way. No woman's going to tell me what to do. And of course, 20 years later, honestly, I can't think of how I could have made it this far in life without her, because I just let her handle so much of the stuff, and I'm just like, the best words that I ever could tell anybody is, yes, dear. And not sarcastically. Just, what do you want to do? I don't know, whatever, if you want to do this, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't care. So I love it. And that's what true marriage happiness is when both sides bring their strong points in and realize that they have a lot of weak points and let the other person handle those. And so we have a good match when it comes to that stuff. Fernando Mayer saying, hello, everyone. Hello, sir. AVE and this old Tony are both hand guys, yeah. AVE, I think I've watched a video of his. I don't know the old Tony guy, but there we go. Yeah. Barney MM2, I used to watch a guy called Two Hands on a radio, and that's all you saw as you reviewed the radios. Yeah, like stuff like that, man, definitely. Jonathan McKee saying, that's VWS life. I love that guy. Yeah, okay, so he did make a video of his face there. Okay, I had never seen him, but I found him because he's a big fan of Winamp. He's a big fan of community radio. He has a 1 watt FM station that he has at his house that he runs off of vintage computers, and I love old computers. And so, yeah, he's great. He does a lot of cool videos. He loves Radio Shack stuff too. So, George Jensen, I sent you an email today. Sorry to add to the load. Just want to say thanks for helping me get into it. Hey, man, all right. Yeah, good. Glad to meet you. I think Jen was telling me that she got a message, but I haven't had a chance to read any of that. Hey, Dallas, good to see you, buddy. I'm getting ready to sign off, Dallas, but good to have you in here, my friend. And, yeah, everyone's saying, oh, 35 years next. Wow. Good for you, Kip. Good for you, man. Yeah, Dallas, we were talking about the married life, and Jen and I were celebrating our 20th, and so we were just talking about what makes for happy marriages and such. And I know I met your wife a couple years back, 2 years back, I guess it's been, maybe 3 now. And right when you guys were just getting off the honeymoon phase, I believe. Shane Pendrick says he's using a 201 Electric Labs as a starter AM transmitter. Yeah, I cut my teeth on those. I had a 150 in one, and I definitely remember doing that. It was a Crystal Radio kit, and well, yeah, I don't want to share it, but one of the videos that's going to come out over the winter is I picked up a Crystal Radio Shack kit where you put it together, and had never been assembled, so we're going to assemble it and try it out. And I don't know, because Crystal Radio, you have to have the earbuds in, you can't really amplify that. I don't know if y'all will be able to hear it over the camera, but we'll play with it. Dallas saying 2-year anniversary and his birthday and laying in bed with the flu. Buddy, I have had more versions of the crud in the last 3 months. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's terrible, man. Like it's just everything's just like, hey, remember me? And then it slaps you in the face. That's pretty much how it's been. I've had the regular crud, I've had the flu, and I can't remember the first one I had when the season started, but oh gosh. Robert says, have you ever used a Falcon dipole antenna? Dipole. I always say dipole. I don't know why. No, I have not, unfortunately. What days do you go live? So I don't. It used to be that I would do these live shows every 2 weeks, and then I was doing them once a month. But I'm having some issues with being able to maintain everything. So I don't do them as often as I should. I love catching up with y'all. It's great to see so many names that I remember and so many new names pop in here, and it's just crazy. Yeah, it feels like when you haven't seen folks friends for a long time. That's what it feels like, because we talk in the comment sections, but we don't talk like this. So it is certainly different, and I'm happy you're all in here, man. I'm happy you all are. Today's your anniversary, Dallas. Mine was in October 5th with Jen. So yeah, recently, but yeah, and yeah, well, no, I won't get into that. But I remember the anniversary, but then 2 weeks later I forgot that I had remembered. And so I asked her if I had done anything special for our anniversary, and apparently we had a great time. I was sick, that's why I don't remember it. We didn't, usually we would go out and do something, and so because I was sick and laid up with the crud, we took it easy. Probably had a fire, and then had something to eat in front of the TV or whatnot. But because it didn't stand out, I guess it kind of faded from my memory so fast. I was like, oh no, this is not good. Megan saying, continue to take good care. Listen to the doctor, listen to Jen, reach out to the community if you need it. Yeah. Well, it's, I hope no one has noticed a huge difference in me, but there's definitely a difference in me. But I'm coming back up. I got some surgery planned here, hopefully before Christmas, because I can't afford the deductible 2 years in a row. But once that's over with, hopefully this phase of my life is over with. And, man, yeah. You know what I mean? Tell Dallas Blanton's bourbon puller pulled me through. Dallas, yeah, bourbon. What was it? I had a friend who said when she was little, whenever she got sick, her mom would take a lollipop and dip it into moonshine and give that to her, and that would calm the cough and kind of calm down. I'm thinking, moonshine? Oh my gosh. But it was a different era, 50 years ago it was 50 years, so. There we go. Blair says 45 years. Wow. She hasn't used the pillow on you yet. That's my kind of sense of humor, Mr. Blair, I'll tell you what. Well, look, guys, I got to get going. I appreciate it if you'd hit the like button on this and maybe head on over after you get done with the show and go check out Farpoint Farms Restorations and Repairs. I think if you go back through the pile, you'll find some fun stuff. If you didn't know that I was working on a lot of projects on the side, go for it. I have some stuff from way back, 15, 20 years ago, too, on there, so that's kind of cool. But I appreciate it, and congratulations again to the winner of the radio, whose name I have forgotten, but I will go back and find out, and hopefully he'll get in touch with me very shortly. Y'all take care, be safe, and I'll try to do this far more often than I have been, okay? Be good. See you guys.